Welcome back, guys. In this section we are going to work on the authentication APIs integration with the client. So we have the form ready, we have the APIs ready. Now we just need to perform some integration steps to have the form data into the database. That's all. So this is what we are going to achieve in this section. So first, restart the backend server, because we have added one extra variable in the .env, which is nothing but this JWT secret. So restarting is mandatory. npx nodemon server. That's all. Close these out. So let's leave the backend as it is. Go to the client, package.json, scroll down. So after the license, you have to add one prop, that is proxy. Okay, proxy will be your backend endpoint. So right now our backend is working on the localhost 5000 port. That is the reason I have given port 5000. So even after making changes in the package.json also, you have to restart the server. Go to the front end and restart with the server with the command npm start. Okay, let's close these out. So go to the client, src, pages, registration. Okay, first we'll perform the registration. So our end of the day, our goal is send these values to the MongoDB through Node.js, because client cannot communicate with the database. So we have to send it to the Node.js. Node.js will send it to the MongoDB. So we can write the API integration logic in this onFinish function, but that's not recommended. So make sure you have all the APIs integrations in a separate folder. That means we need to have a separate logic for rendering as well as the business logic. So these files are just for the rendering purpose, that means UI. So try to keep the business logic outside of these UI files. Okay, so that is the reason what I'm going to do means I'm going to create a new file in the src, which is called as the API calls. Okay, so first I'm going to create a new file called as the Axios instance .js, and then I'm going to create one more file called as the users.js. So in the Axios instance, I'm going to create one object of the Axios that we can use across all the APIs. So let me import the Axios first. Import Axios from Axios. Now I'm going to write export const Axios instance is equal to axios.create. Base URL you can get rid of, okay, because we already know that. You just need to pass the headers. So right now in the headers we don't have anything, but later we will add it. Okay, so if you have the headers here, it will be sent with all the APIs. So if you don't use this Axios instance, you have to write the headers for every endpoint call. So we don't want to do that. So that is the reason I'm making this Axios instance as the global object. So you can use it for all the endpoints. So let's use one sample header, which is nothing but the authorization. Okay, authorization. So we will send bearer followed by local storage.getItem token. So this is the standard way of sending the authorization token to the backend. Okay, so right now we don't have anything in the local storage token. So once we complete the login, you are going to get it. Okay, done. Now go to the users, import the Axios instance. Axios instance. Why it is not importing? Let's do this again. Axios instance. Yeah, it got imported now. So here also I'm going to write register user. So here the spelling case is very important. So I'm going to use the Pascal case. That means P capital, C capital. export const register user. So in our component files, that means in our UI files, we are going to use the camel case. That means one C is capital, one C is small. But in our API calls, we are going to use the Pascal case, register user. Okay, async data. So from the UI file, we are going to get the payload here, which is nothing but the data only. So I'll keep this as payload. Okay, so here also try catch block. And always in the catch block, you are going to return error. Return error. And in the try block, always, yeah, I already got the snippet. Const response is equal to await Axios instance dot post slash API. We need to have the slash API slash users slash register. This is the endpoint and this is the payload that you are going to send to that endpoint. And once you got the response, we are returning the response.data to the page or component or UI file. So this is the structure in the front end for the API call. And similarly, login user, export const login user, same try block and catch block. In the catch block, return error. So const message is response is equal to await Axios instance dot post slash API slash users slash login and payload. And here we are returning the data. So this is the structure for API call in the front end. Okay. So this logic, that means this API handling logic or business logic will be completely outside of the UI files. That means all these things, Axios related, all this stuff, it's better to keep it outside for the code level maintenance. Okay. Now let's go to the index. This is the onFinish function. Make sure this is async and have a try catch here also. And in the catch block, always show the error message. Message.error, error.message. That's all. And in the try block, I am writing const response is equal to await. What I can write? Simple. Call the function. That's all. You need not write anything. Register user by sending the values. And then message.success response.message, because always the catch scenarios will be sent to the catch block only, or else you can check the condition also if you want. If response.success message.success, else to throw new error message. Done. So we are done with the registration logic. So once this is done, we'll go ahead and write the login. First, let's complete this. Let's refresh the page. Hope everything works fine. Okay. So always my first user Arjun. Email arjun123@gmail.com. Password 123456778. So let me open the network call. Yeah, so here you can debug all the network calls. That means what payload we are sending, what response the backend is sending. Okay. Yeah, register. User created successfully. So always the hard work pays off. So without any error, we have executed our first API endpoint. So let's go to the MongoDB. Reload data. We need to get our new database, ShayMP. Yes, this is ShayMP. Users. Done. ID, name, email, password, created it, updated it. So you can see password is completely encrypted. So the password that I have provided is 123456778, but here it got converted like this. Okay. Now let's try to register with the same details and see what we get. User already exists. Perfectly fine. So everything working as expected. Even if you change the name also, you will get the same response because we are seeing the email for the uniqueness. Okay. So let's remove this name and keep Michael. register. User already exists. So like this way you can avoid the same users. So we are done with the registration. So anyhow we got the name Michael. Let's try to register with the name Michael 123 at gmail.com. So in the user model we forgot one thing actually, so that is role. Okay, so go to the user model, role, type string, default user, and also status, type string, default active. Done. Even if you want to keep the profile pic, you can keep it. Profile picture, type string, default, empty string. These are not required. Done. So let's delete the user Arjun and recreate it, so you will get the additional fields. Okay, so anyhow you have the Michael, register, user created successfully, refresh, name, email, password, role is equal to user, status is equal to active, profile picture, empty string. So even if I have Michael, I don't leave Arjun. So let's have the Arjun. Register. Done. Perfect. So I think we are good. So now in the next lecture we'll be working on the login. Okay, so the registration is working fine. Let's use the login in the next lecture. Thank you. Welcome back guys. In this lecture we will be working on the login API endpoint. So I think it will be a cakewalk for us because we have already implemented the registration. Go to the login, make this async as the first step. Okay, try catch. So in the catch block also message.error. Done. And in the try block, const response is equal to await login user. Let's import the login user, and then if response.success, message.success, else throw new error. And even in the if block we need to write one more line, local storage dot set item response dot data. Okay, let's refresh. So we have two users in the database, so let's log in with Arjun. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Login. User logged in successfully. Okay, now if I change anything here, email is invalid, so the expected output is user does not exist. So user not found. That's all. Let's use the valid email and invalid password. Invalid password. Awesome. Okay, and let's log in with the Michael details. Michael 123, password, user not found. Let's use 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I think we have Michael. Oh, we got the email with some space. That is the issue. Update. And here also, yeah, we need to trim the email. Now we should get the proper output. Yes, user logged in successfully. So to avoid these confusions, that means this trim logic, go to the MongoDB model, user model, and in the email always use trim true. Yeah, now let's try to log in again. Done. So even if I place this space, I'll get the proper response because we are trimming the email. That's all guys. So let's log in with Arjun once again. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I am opening the local storage. So once it is done, I'll open, login, go to the application. Let's get rid of this user. Yeah, so this is my JWT token for the Arjun. Just copy this and go to JSON web token. Okay, so yeah, JSON web token. So if I decrypt this, that means if I put this here, I will get the user ID of the Arjun. You can see user ID of the Arjun. Even if I compare, this is ending with 78D. Here also it is ending with 78D. So almost everything is correct. Okay, so this is what the JWT concept is. And even we can add the expiry date for the JWT. How long this token need to be valid? Okay, go to the login endpoint, users route, login. So the third parameter will be expires. That means validity expires in 1 day. Okay, expires in 1 day. Let's log in again, go to the local storage, copy the token, paste it here. This time you have to get the validity. Yeah, so here you can see expires in this many March 6th. Oh sorry, yeah, so this is somewhat time units, we cannot understand this, but it will show. Okay, as per this time it is going to expire March 6th 2241. Right now the time is March 5th 2241, so 24 hours is the validity. That's all. This is about the login concept. So by this we have completed the authentication. So in the next section we will be handling with the authorization. Thank you.